The fight's brewing inside the coalition over childcare. Two LNP senators are lining up against a Morrison government push to increase the childcare subsidy for families with two children in care. The government's draft legislation, with a $1.7 billion cost attached, it was all part of this year's budget, also eliminates the annual subsidy cap on families with incomes above $189,000 a year. Nationals Senator Matt Canavan thinks it's a bad idea. He joins me now from Canberra. Senator Canavan, the equity issue is one thing, but you've also criticised this bill for giving nothing to parents who elect, and often with financial penalty, to stay at home and look after their children. Knowing the Coalition Party room as I do, I suspect there's a fair bit of support for that view about stay-at-home parents missing out. Am I right?
Well, when I raised this, yes, there is, Peter, a number of other colleagues who share my concern that we should be supporting all parents, not just some parents. I'm not so much against doing more to help those families that want to or need to use childcare, as I am against the idea that we only help some parental choices and not all. This bill does provide, as you said, $1.7 billion to families on incomes of $200,000 and more. And if we can spend and find $1.7 billion to support and help families on that much income, I would think we could help those families who do make the decision and sacrifice to look after their own children. I don't like calling them stay-at-home parents, Peter, partly because my wife's one, and I know she's a work-from-home parent, and she's been working from home long before it was cool.
You are spot on. She manages 5 children. She's working bloody hard at home, I tell you. I want to go to another issue too. A decision in relation to the High Court came out today. This is about the Billa-Wheeler family. The High Court has declined to grant special leave to hear an application for appeal on an earlier decision about a visa application regarding the family's youngest daughter. Mum, dad and older daughter have all been decided. It was hinging on the youngest daughter. Now, this is a decision out of the High Court. There's been decisions out of the Home Affairs Department, the Administrative Appeals Tribunal, the Federal Circuit Court, the Federal Court, the full Federal Court, and again before this one as well, the High Court and the High Court again. It couldn't be any clearer here. This family are not owed protection. The legal system's had a good look at them multiple times. It says and repeats they are not refugees. They must now return home to Sri Lanka. Am I missing something here?
Well, Peter, you've laid it out exactly correctly. I do want to say I feel for this family. I can understand why they would love to stay in Australia, and I feel no ill will towards them. But part of doing justice is to be equitable, and Australia has sent over 1,000 Sri Lankans back home that arrived here by boat when the Labor Party lost control of our borders. That decision was made on the correct basis that the Protection of Refugees Treaty was not triggered, that there was no need for the Sri Lankans here to stay here. They could have a safe transit and residence back home. That process has been going on almost a decade now, and there have been no reports of victimisation of those Sri Lankans returned to their home. So there's just no case here for this family to stay. If they were to stay, that would be a great injustice to those other 1,000 Sri Lankans who have been sent home. Now, this case now, by my count, takes it to 8 court decisions that have gone against the Murugappan family. They've had a fair go at it, a fair crack through our legal system. We have a rule of law, and that should be applied.
100% agreed, and I hope that they go back to Sri Lanka, apply the right way, and that they do come to Australia. I think they're everything that we want to see in immigrants, but we get to choose how they arrive in Australia, not people smugglers. That's my main point.